Greetings and welcome to another edition of Sefer Moments. I'm Dr. Stephen Pidgeon with the Sefer Publishing Group. And today I want to do a little bit of a reading from the third edition, Rev 1, of the Et Sefer. And I want to talk about in particular a question that was asked recently from a good friend of CPG's who wanted to know concerning the lineage in Matthew 1 and its relationship to Elizabeth, in other words, Miriam's relationship to Elizabeth, and how that all played out concerning what we have set forth in Matthew 1. The Et Sefer sets out something entirely different in Matthew 1 than virtually every other edition of Scripture in the English language, and it has to do with the lineage. And without going through the lineage in detail here with a long read, I'm going to conclude here with, we have one passage in Matthew 1, verse 16, which is disparate to other people's rendition of the passage. And it reads, "And Yaakov begat Yosef, the father of Miryam, of whom was born Yahusha, who is called Mashiach." In verse 17 it reads, "So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David unto the carrying away into Babel are 14 generations, and from the carrying away into Babel unto Mashiach are 14 generations." Okay, that's pretty straightforward. We should be able to count those up with no problem. Let's take a look. Right here again in the same passage in Matthew 1, we begin with verse 2, and you have Abraham, that's 1, who begat Yitzchak, that's 2, who begat Yaakov, that's 3, who begat Yehuda, that's 4, who begat Peretz, that's 5, who begat Hetzron, that's 6, who begat Aram, that's 7, who begat Aminadab, that's 8, who begat Nachson, that's 9, who begat Salma, that's 10, who begat Boaz, that's 11, who begat Oved, that's 12, who begat Yishai, that's 13, who begat David the king, that's 14. So the generations from Abraham to David are 14. Okay, we've got our 14. Then it says, and from David into the carrying away into Babel are 14 generations. Well, let's see if that's right. Again, going to verse 6. And Yishai begat David the king, and David begat Shalomah, or Solomon, that's 1. And then Solomon begat Rechavam, that's 2. Rechavam begat Abiyahu, that's 3. Abiyahu begat Asa, that's 4. Asa begat Yahusha, that's 5. Yahusha begat Yoram, that's 6. Yoram begat Uzziyahu, that's 7. Uzziyahu begat Jotham, that's 8. Jotham begat Achaz, that's 9. Achaz begat Yechizkiyahu, that's 10. And Yechizkiyahu begat Manasseh, that's 11. Manasseh begat Amon, that's 12. Amon begat Yoshayahu, that's 13. And Yoshayahu begat Yekoniyahu and his brethren, that's 14. About the time they were carried away to Babel. Okay, so totally consistent so far. We got 14 and 14. Now verse 17 concludes with, and from the carrying away into Babel unto Mashiach are 14 generations. Well, let's see if that count adds up. And after they were brought to Babel, Yekoniyahu begat Shealtiel, that's 1. Shealtiel, that's 2. Zerubbabel, Abihud, that's 3. Abihud, Eliakim, that's 4. Eliakim, Azur, that's 5. Azur begat Zadok, that's 6. Zadok begat Joachim, that's 7. Joachim begat Eliel, that's 8. Eliel begat Elazar, that's 9. Eliar begat Matan, that's 10. Matan begat Yaakov, that's 11. And Yaakov begat Yosef, that's 12, the father of Miryam. Okay, well, if it's the husband of Miryam, that's 12, and then of whom was born Yahusha the Messiah, that's 13. That's what it reads in every other edition of every other English scripture published. But this doesn't read that way. In the Et Sefer it reads, and Yaakov begat Yosef, that's 12, the father of Miryam, that's 13, of whom was born Yahusha, who is called Mashiach, that's 14. So you see that we have 14 and 14 and 14 when Yosef is considered the father of Miryam. Now that is consistent with some Aramaic interpretations that do declare Yosef to be the father of Miryam. That doesn't mean her husband wasn't also named Yosef, but it means that in this connotation, Yosef, although in some scriptures you see the name Joachim rather than Yosef, was the father of Miriam. He was number 12, Miriam was 13, and Mashiach was the 14th generation from the carrying away into Babel. Now, I've gone through that litany there. Now let's go up to Luke 3, and let's take a look, because we have another genealogy set forth in Luke 3 talking about Yosef, okay? Now, I'm going to read it backwards, beginning in, well, we'll just take it from, let's take it from, we want to go to Nahor, Terach, no, Abraham. So this would be in 34. And so going backwards, we have Abraham, then Yitzchak, then Yaakov, then Yehuda, then Perez, then Chetzon, then Aminadav, then Nachson, then Boaz, then Yishai, then David. All right, all that's consistent with what we saw in Matthew 1, same lineage. But from here we get some disparities. Because now instead of David, Shalomah, the son of David, no, we have Nathan or Nathan, the son of David. Then Mattithyahu, then Menan, then Meliah, then Eliakim, then Yehukanan, then Yosef. Well, I went to one too many pages. Then Yosef, then Yehuda, then Shimon, then Levi, then Mattithyahu, then Yoram, then Eliezer, then Yosef, then Er, then Almodad, then Chesem, then Adi, then Malki. You see, all those names are foreign. Those aren't the names that are described in Matthew 1 at all. Those are a different set of names. And those names all go back to verse 23, which reads, "And Yahusha himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Yosef, who was the son of Eli, who was the son of Mattithyahu, the son of Levi, the son of Malki, the son of Yana, the son of Yosef, the son of Mattithyahu, and then the son of Amos and Nahum." You see, we have an entirely different line here happening in Yosef, the alleged father of Mashiach, rather than Yosef, the father of Miryam, as in Matthew 1. Now, the next question is, of course, is that in Luke, it tells us that Miryam was the cousin of Elizabeth, who was a daughter of Aharon, or Aaron. That is to say, Elizabeth was a Levite. However, when we take a closer look at that Greek word, syngenes, we find out that that word does not necessarily mean cousin. It could mean cousin, yes, I mean that's one possibility, but it also means relative, or even fellow countryman. In other words, it's just describing a close relationship, not necessarily first cousin. I mean, it could mean second cousin third cousin twice removed. There's lots of things it could mean. And again, you see that kind of fluidity in the Greek quite often, that you get a different word, or you get a word that has multiple meanings. Very difficult to decipher and requires really seeing it in the context. So in this case, is Miriam the first cousin of Elizabeth? Maybe, maybe not. But we do know this, that the only possible way you can justify the lineage in Matthew 1 on its own terms, 14 generations from Abraham to David, 14 generations from David to the taken away to Babel, and 14 generations from Babel to Mashiach, is to properly register the roster to include Miriam as the 13th generation and Mashiach as the 14th. I hope that answers your questions. Glad to have you with us here at the Sefer Publishing Group, and hope to see you again soon. Blessings.